viewers, we are back again on our talk show, The Charlian Inspo. With no further delay, put your hands together and welcome Dr. Jonas Richard, Head of Department of Social Work and the Director of Center Life Skill Education in Christo Jayanti Autonomous College. Thank you so much for being with us today, sir. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Yes, Masira. It is indeed a great honor to have a dexterous and a multifaceted person of eminence on our show. Sir, I have heard from my seniors from KJC that you as a professor have always encouraged students to identify and seek answers to the questions that pique their interest.
Sir, we know that you have 20 plus years of experience with a unique blend of expertise in the areas of life skill education, employee engagement, CSR consultation, implementation of action research and the promotion of psychological well-being. During this pandemic, education has turned out to be the main concern thought, and around 157 crore of students are affected, and everything is helter-skelter with these online classes.
That's true, Masira. Most of my friends, and even I sometimes, feel that this digital-centered studying has made our study life too hibernated and lethargic. This may eventually lead us in getting low marks too.
So, sir, how do you think that we students can overcome this issue with a positive state of mind?
First of all, thank you so much Hasini and Masira for having me for this Charlian Inspo show. I am very excited and happy to be part of this. To answer your question, this is not the first pandemic the world has ever seen. The history we have witnessed many more pandemics, many situations of disruptive times. But what is more important whenever there is a disruptive time like this, we as human beings are expected to remember one thing, that change is the only permanent thing in life, which means we should learn to live with temporariness. So, to learn to live with temporariness, generally I suggest my students to target three things. That is, think positive, speak positive and feel positive. Okay, so thinking positive, feeling positive and speaking positive. Now, how do we stay positive always, especially because we keep hearing lot of negative news, no? At least now it's okay. Little before, when you switch on any TV channel, you hear only the number of cases of corona in each state and number of the increasing number of death tolls. So in that situation, unless we personally make a conscious choice to be positive, it is very difficult. It is like this. Imagine your mind is like a basket. Okay, your mind is like a basket. And imagine only 100 thoughts can be put at any given point of time in your mind. Now, these 100 thoughts have to be carefully picked and put by us. Unfortunately, many people, they put 90 negative thoughts and they have only 10 positive thoughts. So, naturally, these 10 thoughts have no possibility of winning over these negative thoughts. So every day, as soon as you get up, we need to make a conscious choice. Today, I will fill my mind only with positive thoughts. Now, these positive thoughts can be of two broad level. Number one, forgiveness to everybody and gratitude to everything. This is a very simple step, anybody can do it. As soon as I get up, I make a conscious decision. Today I will forgive anybody and everybody today, and today I am going to be grateful for anything and everything. At the end, before going to bed, I need to reflect all those people who would have harmed me or disturbed me or who were not good to me. I need to forgive them, because forgiveness is the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves. When you forgive others, we are the primary beneficiaries. So, forgiveness always keeps you positive, and when we are always grateful for to every small things. See, So many people who started in 2020 are not alive today. Today, every day is a grace period. So we need to be grateful for that. So once we make this conscious decision, I think we can always stay positive, and above all, we need to learn to live with temporariness.
Yes, sir, we will definitely bear in our minds your valuable suggestion of staying, thinking and feeling positive. And we will try our best to forgive people as well, sir. Professor Jonas, since you are a trainer by passion and an academician by profession, you know better that being able to ask as well as answer questions, it is an important part of teaching and learning. Usually students feel anxious before an upcoming test or exam, but now the students are feeling anxious about what's going to happen to their future, sir.
That's true. As you know, sir, our regular classes never took place. Though we had our online classes, our grasping capacity was very low. Now we are having our offline classes, but yet we are feeling low and uncomfortable to grasp the teachings. The question of what would happen to my future keeps buzzing in the minds of all the students. So what are your suggestions about the different professional courses that you would like students to take up, sir?
Thank you, Hasini, for that question. As a counselor, when I receive 10 calls in a day, 8 calls are related to their career choice, because many of the students are so much fearful about their future. My message to all of you, today's youngsters, need not be so much worried. It is not happening only to you. The entire world is 1 year slow, and you are living in the best time of the history. I am not referring to Corona. Okay? So what I mean is, today, with all the maximum technological advancements, any talent can become visible fast. That's the best part of your generation. So today you are living in the best time of the history. So which means any talent can be made visible at very fast space because of the technological advancement. So in order to help you to choose the right career, we need to understand there are 2 basic resources that are involved. Number 1, this situation of uncertainty is not experienced only by us. The whole world is experiencing. The second one, to make a right career choice, there are 2 important resources that are very, very rare and precious. Number 1, your precious time, and second, your parents' hard-earned money. When you want to choose a career, these 2 are very important, because you cannot afford to waste your parents' money. At the same time, we also cannot afford to waste time. So therefore, if we effectively or optimally use these 2 resources, there are 4 things that we need to keep in mind in order to choose the right career. Number 1, if I am making a career choice, I need to first find out my intelligence, my aptitude, my interest, above all, my overall personality. These 4 dimensions of a personality helps us to choose the right career. Now, how do I come to know this? 2 suggestions again. Number 1, you can just Google any reasonably a good test will tell us this. Any standardized test, and many of these tests are also free online. Or best resource or best source of suggestion would be your own teachers and parents who have been observing you for quite some time. They would be able to suggest which career would be best suitable for you based on your personality. As a career counselor, I can also very confidently say the next course of studies that you have to take can be best suggested by your teachers and your parents, because they are aware of your personality. Now, there are 2 ways people choose their career in their life. Number 1 is run towards a career which gives maximum financial gains or maximum, the so-called popular courses. 90% of the people do that. That's a most logical way of doing also. But 10% of the parents and of course the students, they take the other way, which we also promote as career counselors. The 10% is, instead of we running towards the career, you bring the career towards you. So for this, we need to identify our core competencies first. What am I good at? What am I not good at? Which are all my special talents? So once I identify these talents, it is very easy to bring the career to us. I'll tell you, Mashita and Hasni, you are living in the best time of the history. Why? Because today any talent can be converted into a career.
That's true, sir.
Think of YouTubers, think of radio jockeys. Some of these careers did not exist 10 years before. And you are preparing yourself for a career which does not even exist now. So therefore, not being so much worried about which career I would take, it will be a good idea to develop some of the core skills that would be suitable for any career. For example, effective time management skills, ability to solve problems, ability to make quick decisions, ability to deal with people so effectively. So these skills once we do, and these skills are cost effective. We say the easiest and the most least costly way to come up in life is to change your attitude. If we are able to do that, I am sure we are better prepared for not only for the current pandemic, even if something else comes, we will be better prepared with our future. Hope I have answered your question.
Yes, you have, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable suggestions, sir. I'm sure the viewers are definitely going to bear in their minds. Professor Jonas, adding feathers to your cap of success, you have been successful at publishing and presenting more than 78 research papers. You have also authored 2 books and completed 15 research projects, and also that you work with NGOs for facilitating evidence-based social work. So all of us know that today's world is facing fierce competition, a rat race, I can call it.
True.
Perfect. Education is high priced and also a backbone that can drive us to the pinnacle of success. So sir, what are your suggestions about the personality traits that a student must have in order to be successful?
Very good question, Hasini. Whichever forum I address, this is one of the key questions that students always ask. You asked me about personality trait. I would put it the other way. In order to develop certain personality traits in us, I think we need to develop certain skills in us. When you have these skills, I think automatically our overall personality would develop. Now, based on my little experience as a life skills trainer and a research in life skills, I would like to suggest 10 core competencies, which means 10 basic skills that any student can develop if you want to be successful in your life, whether it is in your family life or in your academic life or even in your professional life. Now, what are these 10 core competencies? The first one is self-awareness, which means being aware of yourself at all times, because once I am self-aware, I will know what all skills I need to develop and what are the skills which lacking in me. That's the first skill. The second one, which is the other side of the coin, is what we call it empathy. I'm sure all of you would have heard the word sympathy,
Yes.
Yes.
right? Sympathy is feeling, pity for somebody, right? Feeling for somebody. Empathy is feeling with somebody. There's a lot of difference between being empathetic as well as, sympathetic and empathetic. Okay, so we need to be more empathetic with others than just being sympathetic. Today, the number one reasons why relationships are breaking down, families are into trouble, friends do not get along is people are not empathetic. Okay, so this is a second skill that you need to develop if you want to develop a very good personality trait. The third one is creative thinking. Creative thinking helps you to identify multiple solutions for a single problem. Okay, I'm sure this generation, you are already a creative generation. Okay, right. And the next one is critical thinking. Now, if creative thinking is a multiple solution, critical thinking is questioning the existing solution and asking why not, so what. So when you keep asking these questions, your answers, the solutions reach at the next level, and at any given situation you are able to find most critical decisions you are able to make. That's a critical thinking. And the next skill is problem solving. Friends, whether we like it or not, success of life is big and small problem solving process. How effectively we are able to solve problems, I'm sure today everybody has a problem. How effectively you solve, that's the problem solving process. Of course, the next one is decision making. If you ask me, of all these 10 skills, which is the one important skill that everybody should develop, I would very strongly recommend it is the decision making skills. From the time we are born till we die, we keep making decisions. From the time we get up till we go to bed, we keep making decisions. For some people, whether to get up or not itself is a major decision, right?
Yes,
so this is a decision. Keep making decisions. But some decisions are small, some decisions are big. Some decisions we can take every day. Some decisions we can take only few times in life. Some decisions we can take only once or twice in life. So the career is one such decision where we will be taking only once or twice. Okay? So therefore, we need to be, because the price is also very heavy, some of these decisions. We cannot afford to, keep making some of these crucial decisions, at very random manner. Okay, so decision making is a very important skill that we need to develop. And the next one is ability to communicate with people better. Your ability to not only with ourselves but also with others. And the next skill is, 8th skill, what we call it is interpersonal relationship. Today, success of our life depends on our ability to relate with others. Our professional success largely depends on your ability to relate with others. However intelligent we are, if we are not able to connect with the people who are working with us, our professional life will suffer, right?
Yes.
So relationship is such an important skill. And the 9th one is ability to deal with our emotions. Feelings are common for everybody, but how do we deal with the emotions? The 4 primary emotions what all of us experience: fear, anger, sadness, happiness. But how do we respond to these emotions? You may have heard human beings are 80% emotional, 20% only rational. So therefore, we should know how to deal with our emotions. And the last one is ability to manage with the stress. Today everybody is stressed, right?
Yes.
From a newborn child to a 90-year-old person, everybody is under stress. So helping people or learning how to deal with the stress is one important skill. So if you look at all these skills, 10 skills which I spoke about, target 3 dimensions of a personality: our personal dimension, our professional dimension, and our social dimension. So which means when we develop these core skills, we will be able to be successful in our personal life, our professional life, and our social life. And life will be more happy, meaningful, peaceful, and progressive, irrespective of any pandemic. So I think, it will be good if we develop these skills.
Thank you so much, sir. We are really indebted to perceive your remarkable opinion and enlightening us. A heartfelt gratitude for being with us today, sir.
Thank you for your presence, sir.
Thank you so much. I am also very happy that I could be part of Charlian Inspo series. And as I said, let us not focus on problem but on progress. And even if it is a minor progress, let us keep making it so that we are able to reach where we want to reach. Because slow progress is also still a progress. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Dear viewers, we believe that you too, just like us, have benefited from this talk show. And also stay tuned for the final session of our program.
Welcome back to another session on the Charlian Inspo. Let me introduce you to Dr. Carolyn, Head of the Department of Community Medicine at the Bangalore Baptist Hospital. A cordial welcome, Doctor. It's truly a privilege to have you here with us.
Thank you.
We're very impressed by your areas of expertise in designing and overseeing medical researches, managing national programs, your analytical and field experiences in planning, organizing and conducting operational researches.
It is definitely remarkable that you were chosen by the World Health Organization for developing e-training modules for priority assistive devices.
Especially during this pandemic, we are honored to be able to interact with you, Dr. Carolyn, who is so well versed in the design conduct and your analysis in the epidemiological studies, special focus on the communicable and non-communicable diseases, and your researches at the national, state and grassroots.
Doctor, although offline classes have started, many parents are still hesitant to send us. Therefore, we have to attend the online class. We worry about the stress it might cause us. Since it's the new year, one of our resolutions is to stay healthy and fit. Can you please tell us how we can overcome the stress caused by online class and how we can keep ourselves physically and mentally healthy?
Sitting in front of the computer for longer hours has its own health risk. Given the pandemic situation, we don't have much alternative now. But there are certain things that we can do which will reduce our health risk. First and foremost, being a good posture. Having a proper chair to sit, a desk in front of, and also having your spine straight throughout the class, very important. You can take breaks in which you stand up, stretch a little bit. At the same time, you should also be thinking about your eye strain, because these rays from your laptop and things can have harmful effects. So you can take small breaks in which you close your eyes, look away from the laptop, take small breaks. That will help you. Another important thing that when you sit in front of the computer for long hours is that you tend to munch a lot, and that too unhealthy stuff. So one important thing that you can do is have a good healthy diet, have 2 liters of water, and include veggies and fruits, and also avoid aerated drinks, chips and things like that. It's also important to meet with your friends either virtually or also with social distance you can meet your friends. That way it's very important for you to keep yourself mentally healthy.
Thank you, Doctor. We will definitely follow your advice. Dr. Carolyn, as a girl, I've been watching my mother, my sisters and other women in my family do both their household chores as well as manage their regular job. I worry about the stress they may be going through, and I wonder if it will eventually affect their health.
It's a very important question. All of us have different roles to play in our families, in the workplace, also in the society as a whole. So you can't say, it's an individual choice, so you can't be prescriptive that you should do only this or you should do this. It's more of an individual choice, and you should have your priorities first and discuss with your loved ones at your workplace, in your family, because it also calls for a lot of encouragement, support from others, also sacrifices. We can't be perfect in all areas, but we try to manage our time and energy, and after discussing with others and also prioritizing ourselves, and that's the good recipe for a healthy and less stressful life.
Yes, Doctor. So many people spend their health gaining wealth and then spend their wealth to regain their health. But after listening to you now, I'm sure that such a thing won't happen to any of us. Dr. Carolyn, because of the pandemic, my friends and I have not been able to go out.
And our parents are afraid to send us out because of the virus. And as youngsters, we enjoy hanging out with our friends.
We wanted to know if it's safe to go out now, since it's almost a year since the pandemic. And will this pandemic ever be over?
Yes, I understand your sentiments. Being youngsters, you want to go out with your friends and socially engage. That's quite understandable. You can do that, but all this comes with a responsibility. You have to wear your mask and also socially distant from your colleagues and your friends, and also in terms of doing your sanitization and all safety protocols in place. It's also more healthy to meet outside or outdoors than indoors. but you should also know the risk, right? If you're violating any of these rules, there's a chance for you to get the infection and also transmit to other people. And if you are in your family have elderly people, then you will be causing them a lot of risk. So if you're ready to take your responsibilities seriously, you are very welcome to go out and enjoy with your friends.
They say prevention is better than cure. So I think at this juncture, it's better for all of us to focus on staying safe. Doctor, this session has been so informative for all of us, and it will most certainly help to ease our anxiety. Thank you so much for inspiring and enlightening us.
Thank you for being here with us, Doctor.
Pleasure is mine, and thank you for the opportunity for sharing my thoughts.
Dear viewers, I hope that these sessions were educative and informative for you.
We have many takeaways from these sessions, and I hope you all have too.
Thank you. Take care.
Stay safe until we see you all in the next event.